That's good. Check your video. That should be.
You know, yeah, I think so. But they're all just growing like weeds.
I bought Malibu.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
this is what.
He's 9, he'll be 10, July 8th.
They said I could.
So,
So I put it.
yeah,
Hot.
he's old enough to kind of go out and discover stuff. He's getting to be self-sufficient. It's just kind of strange, you know? He's needed me for so long and now I can do this.
Iron structure, and it can climb through.
Which is also nice in
Top of it.
many ways.
Do you know the name of it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's used to form
The last
trees and things.
5 years, we go up to Colorado, we go to, Pagosa
I
Springs.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
In India, not in India, but in Morocco and.
Down by Wolf Creek, little ski resort over there.
I don't know, I can't remember.
Should be
It's a structure.
Yes.
I don't know the origin.
That's almost closer to Santa Fe than Denver.
It is, yeah, it's probably a good 6 hours from Denver,
Malabar,
which
yeah, you can eat it.
I like it up there too.
It's very mild flavor.
Yeah,
So
good.
I
You really
just,
get into,
spinach. Right.
oh my gosh.
Mushy.
Yeah, it's very spongy kind of spinach.
Yeah, any chance I can go to Colorado, I'm going.
All right, we're ready.
Yes.
Call to order. So we should start with a roll call.
Yep. Chairperson Ramos, board member Terry Bismet, Bissett, yeah. Board member Nancy Coddington,
Present.
board member Jacob McElroy.
McElroy?
Yeah, McElroy, that's who it is. Jacob. Yeah.
You'll get one of these things
Board
right.
member Dorothy. And that is it. All right, you have a forum. Oh, liaison Brent Coley.
Here.
Okay, so we've established a quorum.
Yep.
Right, so are there any public comments?
Doesn't look like it. No, ma'am.
All right, so we'll move on to the consent calendar and approve the minutes. Have you let me know when you've completed reading it? Yeah. To approve the minutes. So we have a motion that I didn't have to call for to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Great. So let's vote on it.
Board member Bissett.
Yes.
Bissett, yes. Okay. Board Member Covington,
Yes.
Board Member Jacob,
Yes.
Board Member Dorothy. All right.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, Chairperson Ramos.
I approve it too. Okay, so then we'll move right on to, reports from the officers and council liaisons. We could start with Rick Foley.
Yes, I reported to the council last month or about our activities, and I, at this point, don't have anything really new to report to you guys. Anything you can think of, Jeff?
No, not from the other meetings. So we're looking forward to reporting from you to the council.
Which I'll prepare, so.
So are there, any comments or updates about parks and some of the changes that are going on in the parks? That upfitting?
I'm sorry, comments regarding the parks?
Like, I took a walk and I saw that at the Triangle, that there was running water.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest with you. I know that there is a presentation of parks that's gonna be making Wednesday to start, moving ahead with bids for the equipment and whatnot. And so I know that that's proceeding. There's a pretty extensive package that I need to go through for the meeting on Wednesday. And as far as that's really all I know at this point. So I'm glad there's running water in the Triangle Park, you say?
Yeah, the running water, I mean, we actually have that, that's where that fountain goes that Aqua Texas donated.
Yeah,
So it's a water bottle filling station and then a dog bowl.
right, okay.
And so that goes there.
And so after Wednesday, is it this week? So after Wednesday, so at the next meeting, we can have an update on the parks?
I can, if you want me to report.
I'll probably more, I'll give you an update, if you would like an update.
So if that's all, Mr.
That's
Foley,
it for me.
we'll move on to city manager reports.
Oh, I'll give you a thing on parks next time after it goes to the council. is what I'm sorry, because
Okay,
that way, Brent, yeah, I don't have anything to report,
okay,
unless you want me to report something.
no. I can't think of anything like that.
Okay,
Thank you though.
you're welcome.
All right, so then we'll move on directly to unfinished business and general orders. And, so item number, so my agenda numbering changed, and so I have number 2. Is it still number 2? Okay. All right, it's unfinished business. To take, discuss and take possible action regarding Arbor Day celebration venue and activities. And what I thought we could do today, with your okay, is brainstorm without discussion some ideas for what to do for a venue. We received some information that Camp Young Judea has a conflict on the 4th. And before we can make any other arrangements and commitments with Carl Flocky or sign up vendors or even plan more fully, we need to know where we're gonna meet. So in brainstorming, I'm sure all of you are brainstorming, you just throw out ideas and then we go back and talk about the good and the bad about those ideas.
And I did not, contact Carl yet with the change of venue. I thought we'd wait until it was decided, but we'll stick with the date.
I think that was prudent. Very good, thank you. Yeah, we can't make any decisions yet. So,
Is the VFW hall, I know years ago we met there for council meetings once in a while.
It's rentable. I mean, it's like $250 or something to rent it, or that's really sort of a cleaning fee.
okay,
So that's an option. I mean, if I may.
well, we can do it different ways. We can talk about the different ideas, or we can just throw out ideas and then
Yeah, I was
discuss.
gonna more throw out ideas.
Okay. The way I suggested it or the way you're suggesting it?
Could we use the golf course, a portion of the golf course?
Portion of the golf course.
Community center,
Pardon?
community center.
Is that Wimberley?
Yes, in town as well.
Do we have to have I think it has to be Wood Creek? No?
No,
Okay. All right,
has
I
to
should
be.
just write it
It
down.
would just be closer for residents,
Right.
you know, in the community.
So I'll write it down. So, the triangle is still an option.
pretty good chance. Creekside will be in pretty good shape by then.
Creekside. How about,
Is that the bocce ball court?
No, Creekside is the new park where the playground's going in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, Augusta Park is the one with the
That's
ball.
the park at the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna have a tournament there, November 4th.
I'll put it down on our list. That is Augusta Park. And then there's also, that Baptist, thinking about the kinds of things that we need for a venue. We need visibility. We need, running water, possibly bathrooms,
Mhm.
and benches, chairs, tables would be nice.
Is City Hall an option?
I'll write it down. This city hall? Yes. So another option, well, another criteria could be that we want something close to Oakwood. So we could still include Carl Fluffy if we still want to do that.
So I know it's not, in Wood Creek, but what about the falls?
Yeah, that's not
Which
bad.
falls?
The lodge, the river park?
Cypress
Point. Got a lot of green space.
They do, they have a whole upper deck,
Is
they have
Cypress.
beverages, bathrooms.
Yeah, they've got like, if I remember, they've got like a big room that, I know they've had, like receptions back there.
In
It's
the
off
lodge?
the lobby in the back somewhere.
Is that where that hotel?
Is that the lodge or is that?
The old
I think it's in the
greenhouse area?
lodge.
Okay.
It's in the area.
Yeah, I mean, they have tons of opportunity there, I guess.
Yeah.
The best way to put it.
So, Cypress Falls, that's the cafe or the restaurant?
It's like
Cypress-
three different things,
Cypress
right?
Falls Event Center.
Yeah.
Is it by the bridge? The bridge going out of the creek?
Yeah.
I think the parks people have been working down there, the volunteers did, or Aquatex did. So that's Creekside, that's the same place, right?
No, Creekside is the city park on Brook Hollow. Cypress Falls,
Brook Hollow and what? What's the intersecting
Hog
road?
Creek.
What creek?
Hall Creek.
Hog Creek, where Hog Creek crosses under Brook Hollow
Yeah,
Drive, that's where the Creekside Park is.
okay.
So we've got 9 suggestions. Oh, the church, the Baptist church. The one where the
Farmers market says that?
yes, thank you. All right, so that should probably be enough to go through. So you said something about VFW hall?
Well, Dorothy mentioned the VFW hall,
Mentioned it.
and
It's a Saturday though, and there are also ball fields there, so I don't know if that would be.
And when's the bingo? No, that's Friday night.
So this is November.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more option that I thought about, changing the date. So that we could accommodate golf course and
Or
car.
camping.
they can't. The camp?
Yeah, the camp.
What date is it? Do we have it now, November 4?
No, that's
Or-
Saturday.
November 4th is a Saturday.
And Carl Flocky said he could be there. And right now, he is that kind of, I think tentatively booked for us. So,
Yeah, he is.
as soon
Right.
as
Yeah.
as we decide, it's only fair to let him know if we're not going to.
Okay, so let's pin that and come right back to it. With possible motion.
Should we contact the camp and see when in November they could accommodate us? I mean, that seems to be the preferred venue, but,
It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, one of us to email them.
Do you want me to contact Danny or CYJ?
Yeah, tell them that we don't want to nag, but we're going to.
Well, I mean, there may be another day they do have open.
Yeah, that's not an act.
Do you want me to look for a certain date or ask for a
Range,
range date,
yeah,
availability?
what do you think of that?
Mm.
We can't, ask Young Judea for a range of dates around that time. Are y'all okay with that? or-
Yeah.
Like a 3-month range
No, like a
or,
week, 2-week range, I mean, maybe they can't do it on the 4th, they can do it on the 6th, I mean.
Do you want it on a weekend or a weekday, or does it matter?
Yes, a weekend. I think it would have to be a weekend.
Weekend, and what times?
We had it scheduled or planned from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon.
And you plan on doing probably a seminar inside of their room, and then maybe walk around, see if they have any open?
We were thinking there's a.
that's a good idea.
Probably
Do
right,
a demonstration of macro injection.
Wait a minute, if you're still talking about Camp Young Judea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is oak grove there.
Uh-huh.
That was why we selected that, or lots of reasons, but there is oak grove there.
So we could, yeah, I mean, do a tour and depending on how big of an event we want to have, you know,
So,
all
Jordan,
kinds of stuff.
maybe you'd like to just kind of remind people what we had been planning or working on, you?
Or what we did last year, is that,
No, with Carl Flocky, the plan was 10,
well, we had said, when I contacted him, I said, you know, around, 11 for him, that we would, you know, hopefully see the residence area that had oak wilt. And he was very willing to do that, to, you know, walk over, similar to what we did at the Blue Hole with him. So, you know, we didn't get too much beyond that, just basically saying he was open to it, he would be glad to do it. And, to have a similar presentation to what he did at Blue Hole, which was, you know, showing us oak wilt, the specific examples.
and then going for a walk to see it in person.
In approximately an hour or so.
Yeah, so part of our mission, our goal was to be educational with Arbor Day, you know, to do this sort of presentation. So, there could be other places, I mean, I don't know where to go from there. So yes, we could do a range, and it could be, the week before is Halloween, I think, isn't it? I didn't bring my calendar.
I believe it is, and, is there a chance we could bundle this in like we did last year, but with the spooktacular? I mean, that's gonna be at the golf course, right? The weekend of Halloween, but maybe we don't wanna combine those.
I think we discussed not doing it in conjunction with someone else.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the spooktacular is a great event,
yeah.
and there's
It's a
no
great
reason.
event, but it's just like, I don't know how you dovetail those.
Look how scary Oak Wilt is. Look at these skeleton trees. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Halloween is on Tuesday. Yeah, we have October 28th for the Saturday, or, Saturday, November 11th, if we look at those 2 dates.
So for a range, it would be October 28th through until November 11th.
11th, And Carl said he was available before. So once we decided if it is the camp, yeah, I would contact him and see if he was available those 2 days.
So,
November
that
11th, just so you know, is Veterans Day.
is Veterans Day?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if that would be a conflict or not.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to be at that, but you already mixed that.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. Couldn't stop myself.
That's okay, I appreciate all your comments. Even
Well,
the
there usually
spectacular
is
one.
something over at Emily Inn. on
Oh, that's right.
Veterans Day.
Yeah,
So,
Uh-huh.
so that's
yeah.
good to know that, so maybe, yeah, October 28th would be better if that works out.
So, I thought we were looking for something in Wood Creek. Ideal. Okay, all right, so if was it you or Danny? You or Kevin and Danny, or Brent and Danny? Who's gonna call Danny?
I'll talk to
Kevin said
them.
he would.
Okay, great, thank you.
They just got their kids in on Sunday, and so,
Oh,
but hopefully by the next meeting, I'll know something.
what does that mean?
Their camp, the summer camps have started, so they have two sessions. The first session began on Sunday, and it
Okay.
goes through July 4th or 5th, I think, or 3rd.
Will it be fair to Carl to postpone, or should I give him a heads up that given with
For
the
venue? I think that would be kind, and to see what his availability is as well. But I think it's okay to go ahead and start looking or talking to Danny.
Yeah,
To
if
find out.
they don't have a retreat or something, I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all. So let me just see if they have anything on their schedule yet, and if you'd be open to let us use, that glass room or I call it the ELS or something like that, the other room. And then, doing a walkthrough tour. Is that kind of all you envision? Or we are gonna have games and petting zoo
Well, if it's,
and balloons and ice cream and,
We hadn't gotten that far in our discussion of planning, because we were trying to find a venue.
okay, so find a venue first and we'll,
That's our priority. But those are great ideas. And that's part of where we have to find a venue.
Okay. I'm just curious, so when I talk to Danny, I can I'll tell him it's to be determined, but we know that we'll have a seminar and probably a walking at the SFO on there, which.
And vendors, and that we don't expect any food like last time, but that was great. You can say that.
They
Yeah, we're not gonna
they
do
will
that.
probably, they will probably make cookies, no matter what,
Cookies are great.
because they have the best cookies.
Well, I mean, we'll figure out food
Okay,
later.
yeah, but I'll secure a date or try to secure a date.
Okay, so maybe we could have a backup plan?
any of those options could be a backup plan.
The 28th.
Oh, for a day.
Well, so we're gonna approach Kevin
You know,
is going to approach us.
Mhm.
And if it works out, that's great. And if not, we still need to figure out what we're gonna do and where.
I
So,
think Creekside's a great idea to expose, the community to a new location. If
Yeah,
that works,
if-
I know parking would be limited.
If it doesn't work out with the camp, then, the parks are ours.
Yeah.
We do whatever we
Where
want
is
there.
Creekside?
The golf course, we haven't talked to the golf course at all about it.
Okay, here's the triangle right here.
But that space that, they do spectacular in, that big open field, they do spectacular in, that could be a, workable thing. And there's plenty of
Right
parking,
here.
because you got that whole parking lot across the
There's
street.
the
And the new owners are okay with I guess
Over
it's
the
off
bridge,
topic,
right
but
there.
are okay with
Left-hand
like
side of your-
using that area for
Right there on the
spectacular
left-hand
events?
side, right after that.
Continuing the
They've
relationship.
been very
Survey snakes up
cooperative.
there too,
Cool.
down there.
Very cooperative, so.
So I think
We are right here.
that this is being
Go
hired
down
for
Wood Creek
Suzanne
Drive
as
at the
well.
triangle, take a right,
So more of
go
us
down
are
to the
talking.
bridge, and it's on the left-hand side, just past the bridge. And there's survey signs up there, survey stakes.
Okay, the bridge being the one,
Hawk Creek. If you go down to the triangle,
yeah,
on Wood Creek Drive, and you take a right, and you're heading down Brook Hollow Drive. Okay, you pass Westwood, is over there to the right, you go all the way down the hill, and there's a little bridge where Hawk Creek goes under. And it's immediately after that, on the left-hand side. And right now, there's even, survey stakes, probably about 3 foot high over there.
okay,
And but that's where Creekside Park is going to be,
I'm going to be,
And
soon, hopefully, yeah.
Well, that's where
Is there-
Creekside Park is.
Yes,
It's
but
where the,
it will have
Playground.
facilities, it will have
where
playgrounds,
the,
Creekside.
where the stuff is going to.
Is there Oakville there?
There is, but it will be taken down
there's so
before.
much Oakville on Brook Hollow on 14 when I came
Yeah,
down.
we wouldn't have to walk too far to that.
Yeah, there is 2 trees, I wanna say, but they're gonna be taken out July 2nd, 1st, or 2nd. Those
What
trees are gonna be
Are
gone.
they on city property?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It is
so,
city property.
so it seems like if our second option is Creekside, somebody needs to also determine, first of all, is the playground and the facilities that we need to make it more feasible, but then also if there is Oakville close by, so that we can still do it, and then if Carl is available. So all this will fall into place once we find out if we can still.
So how do you get into the park
Just walk
from where?
The street.
the street, you can
It's
park,
just right on Brook Hollow.
you can
right on
probably,
your
you can probably park 2 or 3 cars into there. where
That would be the one problem with Creekside is parking.
Right,
Yeah.
with parking.
So should we suggest
Right.
alternative carpooling, walking, bikes?
If we go to Creekside, yeah, we would wanna say, get there however you can without using a car.
Yeah,
Cause there's room for
Bikes,
that,
golf carts.
have Kevin on the mule just hauling
Yeah.
people back and forth.
if necessary. You can
I'll
park
give
in the
you a little
triangle
bicycle with a little
A little
sidecar.
We
I'll
get,
give you a little, what's those little thingies that
we
you go?
get
Yeah.
rickshaw, mini,
So
petty gas.
Rickshaw.
Oh,
Oh,
rickshaw.
We
Golf
get,
carts, everybody, we could get.
right,
people to
get
donate
Terry and
golf
David to
carts.
shove people from the triangle.
well, if everyone did do bicycles, then we could do a citywide Oakville bike tour. Point out Oakville on the bicycle.
These are great ideas, I'm gonna write them down. But let's come back to them when we're actually
And the
forming
planning.
this whole thing. And, another issue with Creekside is to check in with Cypress Falls Event Center, just to let them know that this is happening. Is that necessary?
Let them know what's happening.
No?
It's not anywhere close to Cypress Falls.
Okay,
Well,
And
let me get with Danny, and
facility?
if he can do it.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all know, and then the next meeting, come with all your ideals. And if we can't do it, we'll assume that we probably do it at Creekside, maybe, and you can come with your ideals. But let me talk to Danny. I'll give you a heads up, and y'all can, next meeting, y'all can start planning. How's that? Whether it's at CYJ or Creekside, I think that's probably your best venues.
right.
But I don't want to tell you what to do.
Iris, just to confirm that, I'll let Carl know that the 4th would probably be out. If he would be involved or be available the other weekend, the tour,
If he
or
has
the
any,
weekend.
yeah, if he has any flexibility between October 28th and November 11th.
And then we wouldn't know until the July meeting.
Thank you for following up. So,
We can't.
do we have any
No,
more
we still won't be on
discussion?
November
Do we need to make a motion? It seems like we're just unfinishing this business right now.
Continuing discussion, no motions.
Yeah, no motion.
Okay. any more discussion, any more ideas that I jumped over too fast? No? Okay,
So just to clarify, so if the camp can do one of the other weekends, that would be the first choice. But otherwise, we stay with November 4th and just do it in the parks.
yes. That's what I understood.
Yeah.
We didn't vote on it.
November 4th in the park.
That was our first choice ideally, but Danny said no.
Oh,
No, the
okay.
camp.
Pardon?
The first choice was November 4th at the camp.
And he
That
said
was,
no.
that was the first choice. They said, we've got a thing in, let me check. And then we pinged him a couple more times and he didn't get back with me. So
Okay.
Oh, thank you for pinging him.
I will ping him on
We'll get him some chocolates too.
Okay.
I have some. Something nice. Okay, so if we completed that item, we'll move on to number 3, to discuss and take possible action on a tree survey. So I was going through things, and what I have a map that's a little hard to read. I also have some articles for all of you. I don't know that I have enough for you.
That's okay.
you want to hand them? Yeah.
These are on the health of trees. They came out from the Arbor Day Foundation.
You're all students together, right?
So, one of the questions was, what are we looking for? And this particular article was pretty good, and it talks about the overall health of the trees. And then I have an old map of the city, but I would like to propose something right now before I distribute any maps.
Got next one.
I propose that we make some plans, we're dividing up teams, but that we wait until September. It was 93 degrees when I walked in today. And it was 101 in Austin. And I think it gets, even early in the morning, I think it gets really hot. But I'm open to suggestion about that. I was gonna suggest that we go ahead and do part of this, but put off scheduling it until September.
Are you talking about your mini tree survey or the tree survey?
Say that again?
Are you talking about the tree survey or you had talked in the past about a mini tree survey? What are we talking about
A
now?
mini tree survey.
Okay.
So, do you remember the difference?
No.
So what my memory is that the mini survey would be getting information from the city manager and the Parks Department about where Oak Woods is in local areas. And then going and surveying the trees there but you're already acting on it. So that was an option. And then but we're gonna need a full survey. Actually, I'm gonna suggest we do a full survey when we do schedule this, rather than going out twice, that we just go out one time in early fall, September, and check the trees out. I'm already brown as a nut. I'm just gardening outside with sunscreen.
Well, if we're gonna plan to do a update for the survey, we wanna make sure we do it early enough in the fall that the trees aren't defoliating, and some people may not be able to tell what trees are alive because there's no leaves on them, so, early fall. I
Early
mean,
fall.
Yeah, September, maybe here.
Okay, so I remember last year leaves started falling in August because of the heat.
Yeah, we've had a good wet spring this year. I hope that's not the case.
Okay, so we need to decide when we're gonna do it, and then divide up the teams and the areas, and, the tools that we need in order to study the trees. Like, there's a special tool for measuring the canopy, I think.
You're talking about caliper?
Yes.
Like a Baltimore stick or a pie tape or like the DBH of
I was hoping you would tell us about it.
yeah, so, well, I mean, y'all done the surveys. When you take a survey, you take a canopy analysis, and if you think that canopy looks good, then you say it looks good, fair, or poor. Make it as easy as possible with, just those three things. And then you write down the species, and then you take the diameter at breast height, which is roughly 4.5 feet.
That's what
and
they're
then-
talking about, having, that was one of the.
Yeah,
things that
yeah,
the survey was done
and-
before, there was some confusion over, how to.
Circumference
how to get that.
and-
They're getting
Pi.
circumference instead of diameter, and
You can always just take the circumference and divide it by pi, which is 3.14. And,
I love that.
I do too. Well, we might just have some pie that day.
You know what?
Can we do
We
this
will.
on March 14th?
Again, we can do it again,
Do it again, March
but
14th.
we can have pie any day. Pie is,
I agree. Any weekend in September? I mean, anyone have some conflicts with September?
Well, the meeting would be the 11th, probably. The tree board meeting, it's the second Monday, right?
Yeah.
So would we want it after that meeting?
yes.
Would that be
Yeah,
soon
for the
enough?
October meeting.
Mhm.
I don't think time is really against us on this. I mean,
So we can.
they're not getting any better. I guess some of them are, but, I mean,
Okay, so
this, survey is meant to update continuously as often as we think is fit.
yeah, part of the plan was to try to do it after the ice storm, but the branches were still falling out of trees and it was too dangerous for us to get out there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're looking at heat. So there's always going to be something.
Yes.
I really hope September's not brutally cold, because then we'll just postpone it again.
It's gonna be 100 degrees.
At least, and we'll have pie.
And we'll have
I'm gonna
pie,
circle
all right.
that. Pie.
So we should
Speaking of
discuss who's bringing this.
limbs falling, I mean, after that last little rainstorm, we had 3 big limbs on the ground that were left over from the storm that
Yeah.
are finally shaking loose. There's still limbs falling.
So, it was reasonable to postpone it. We are not
It was smart to
slacking.
postpone it.
No, I mean, and, I believe the second round of inventory is completely voluntary. There's no one telling us that we have to do this, so this is something we wanna do.
Well, it seemed to me, and I have to reread that, but I understood that as part of our designation as Tree City USA to have a current updated tree survey.
But it didn't say anything about them going out there every year.
Yeah, I mean, what's considered current? 5 years, I think would be current. in the grand scheme of, entire city. What I would like to see us do with the inventory and a newly updated inventory is come up with a management plan for our next city arborist. So that's what I want to do with the survey.
So we'll come back with this, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Because that is on, the RFP is on the agenda.
it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think we had some more of a discussion about this before, about why can't the arborists do this if in fact we get an arborist?
So, I think that's a very good question. And I want to, go over some of that in just a little while, and I can answer that question.
Okay.
Okay. And if I forget, you'll bring me back,
Oh, I
okay?
will remind you.
I bet you will. All right, so, the short answer is he or she are gonna have a lot of responsibility. And what I understood is that it may be like 10 hours a month. And as, I
I thought it was a week, 10 hours a week.
think it's 10 hours a month. I haven't seen the official one, but
Oh. So, can I make a motion to put together a committee for, divvying up this tree board into groups and locations of the city for a update for the September tree survey? Is that a motion?
Can be.
That's a long one, right?
Yeah, it is. You're gonna say it again.
All right, well, we'll sum it up, huh?
all right, so then I will pass out the map that just has, it's hard to read, but here it is. And I'd like to remind you that the map of Wood Creek is actually in your tree board manual. And it's the second item here. And it has a better view of Wood Creek. And these are areas, and that goes along with these, but I have this that I'll pass out as well. It has north area, central area, and south area. This is something we already did at the last survey, and it has itemized the properties that need to be explored. And if on this map, you'll see little green spaces. Those relate to this map or this. But I didn't make a lot of copies of this because I'm trying not to spend too much paper. But when we divide up into teams, is this extra? So when we divide up into teams, then we can know where we're going and what is on there. Now, I'm happy to pass these out, but you'll have to space them out. Because there's only three of them.
Three.
Check and I can show it.
Mhm.
So should we look at this and then break out into teams? Is this extra?
Well,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Here are the central,
are these,
and this is south. So each team,
I have,
what is that?
north, okay, and then this
Yeah.
is central,
And here's
so
south.
here, that's central,
This is south.
and south.
So this
Write that down.
this reflects the same plan that we did last year.
Okay,
And if you look at each item here, under north area, it tells you exactly where the trees are that we're looking at. I believe Monica Rasco did a lot of work on this last year.
yes, she did.
So we're using it again.
I think that's a solid plan.
Two north.
Okay. There was, so,
That's okay.
I have my copy.
Yeah, I'll just.
Oh, here.
City property.
Yes. That has all of them. I should have done that one. And I didn't. Just a little, I don't want to lose it, okay? No. So, are we ready to make a motion? Did we decide on a date?
We left it open to the whole month of September.
That's right. So the way we did it last year is that after we were assigned, we decided in our own little team when we could go out and do it, and then have a deadline of, if we're doing it in September, then October.
Right, we want to be sure not to establish a quorum, so no more than groups of two.
That's right. There happened to, I don't know who is eligible to be on the team. I would think not Nancy, unless you really want to.
I don't think I can, not if it involves any walking.
Okay, so.
I'll take you around on a mule.
There you go. Show, well, then, so we got one group here.
So who is eligible? Like Brent, are you
Yeah, we can
eligible?
help, sure.
And Dorothy and Jacob,
Of
I'm
course.
assuming, who cannot do this?
Me.
Okay,
I can know.
okay, so we've got plenty of team members. Cause I can help too. So let's say that it would happen in October.
September.
September.
September and report it
September
back in
and
October.
report back in October. And so, what we've got here is a motion to do a tree survey and using this handout that gives us information about the health of the trees. And part of the motion is that Jacob will also come up with more information and access tools that we need. I mean, when you say circumference, I remember there were trees that were so big I couldn't wrap my arms around them. They were beautiful. I know where they are. If anybody wants to go hug. They're gorgeous trees.
Oh. Well, okay, you just reminded me of something I thought of a while back, but for an Arbor Day Foundation event, we could do a tree of the year,
Oh,
a
right.
toy. Potentially, I mean,
A tree of the year toy?
no, it
That'd be
stands
good.
for, it's an
That'd be-
abbreviation,
Oh.
so we could have a tree of the year, we pick out, or,
Could that be part of our Arbor Day?
I think so.
Announce that and decorate it.
So you celebrate that tree all year long?
that, yeah, just the one all year.
So you have
Just go hug it every day and.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
could have a small
What kind of
plaque,
Talk to it,
What do you
designation or
suggest?
something.
put a little flag on it.
Any trees, any non-invasive, I think would be a good candidate. But, it's just something I wanted to throw out earlier and I
Maybe
forgot
our
all
person could
about
be a
it.
heritage tree.
Maybe one at Creekside? No.
So let's come back to that, because that is on the agenda.
For next month, yeah, I mean,
That would be great. It's a good idea. And I've heard lots of great ideas today. So,
So what are we doing right now? Do we need a motion to set the tree survey in September, or are we just?
The motion on the floor.
there's,
Was it seconded?
I don't even, you're gonna have to say motion because we don't really have one.
so the
Yeah,
motion
talking.
is to,
Got no more.
Jacob.
to
would
have
second
a tree survey
Yeah.
between September and October of this year, reporting back to the board by October, I don't know, 14th. And that would be, we agreed to do a tree survey, to split up in teams, and to report back
At the
Bye.
beginning of October.
at the beginning of
By
October
October 9th.
about the trees.
October 9th?
Okay, so the motion is to do a tree survey between September and October and report back somewhere in the vicinity of October 9th.
Yeah, next tree, that tree board meeting.
That way, just,
Yeah.
but
Do we have a
Do you
second?
want the mechanics about the committees? Okay,
Do we have a second?
I'll second it. Okay.
so that was Jacob's motion.
All right.
Terry's second?
Second.
All right.
If you go too fast, I get lost.
Okay, I'm gonna call.
I'll call for a vote.
Okay, call for a vote.
Let's vote.
He takes the vote, so.
Oh, okay.
You want to raise your hands too?
See,
All right.
Go too fast and I get lost. A lot on my mind.
Nancy Coddington,
Okay, yes.
Jacob McElroy?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Dorothy Tazen? Tation? I think I'm gonna get it right. Iris?
Yes. I vote yes. So is there any more discussion?
Terry.
Oh,
Terry.
oh, Terry,
Yes.
sorry, I knew I missed somebody, I was.
You were looking around the room.
That's-
Do we want to divide up the areas now?
Yes, it's more about selecting who gets what area.
I did the north area last time. I'll be glad to do
You should
it again.
definitely do one you're familiar with.
It's a good idea, Romy. You'll recognize changes.
Should we
Okay,
do it like the kids do in like grade school and she gets the pickers,
Choose the partner.
she gets to choose a partner, and we have teams?
um,
I hate to be the last one to pick.
I feel the same way. I was always the shortest on the basketball team. Never got selected. Oh. So I'd rather just have volunteers for the areas, but if you did it last year, it makes sense to do it again in the same spot. Right?
Then I'm north. My partner's in
Okay, so Dorothy's north. Terry? South? Okay, Jacob? South?
I don't know, I mean,
Do you remember
Dorothy,
what
who
you
you
did
got
last
doing
time?
north with you?
my, did with me last year, but I'm open to anyone.
Okay.
First year.
Yeah.
You're an
Uh,
expert.
Yeah, it was a hard year last year, so. If you're okay with it, I'll just do north with you,
That'd be great.
yeah,
And
this is all new.
Was that right? Yeah. It was right here.
Terry, you want to do central since it's kind of our neck of the woods?
Let me see.
That's by your house.
Oh, yours.
Oh, Stonehouse Circle, okay, let's see. Stonehouse Circle,
So
Drive,
this
is
will
that the
tell you-
island in the street?
North includes, Augusta Lane. The central includes,
The regular circle,
McGregor Full Circle, Spading Circle.
Spalding, is that supposed to be Spalding or is it Spalding?
Spalding, I thought.
It was
Yeah.
probably me.
Stonehouse Circle.
Stonehouse Circle, the triangle.
No, that's what I don't understand, is the triangle the part on Wood Creek Drive, the island?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then there's the park.
Oh, the triangle part? Oh, so,
Like this.
So,
I just took a picture of it.
oh, is that? the
Okay.
Stonehouse Circle near Wood
Well, I mean, I'm not
Creek
good
is,
with
are the
keeping
trees
up
that
with
are
papers,
on.
so everything.
Well,
If
everything
you would
is
allow
on
me,
phone.
I will, at the next
Laptops
meeting,
are
since
connected to
this is
each other,
going out
so
in September,
it's
we
just
actually
like-
have a map with all the
I mean,
cities. Let me go in there,
it's
color
from-
coordinate all of the streets. and I'll do a central, a north, and a south,
So I counted
And that way
11
you'll have
properties off of this.
color
And I
coordinated,
was thinking,
and
just
you
do-
can
Yeah.
do up to your street, if that's okay, would that help you out?
That would help a lot.
Okay, rather than circles, we'll do colors on each, because we need to go up to, we need to do Cypress Point too, on the right of way. Because although it's a HOA, you still have the right of way.
I am going to, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
They have a-
hey, gang,
Okay.
Kevin is trying to talk over here. That, about the maps?
Yeah, because over here Doolittle, you wanna make sure that Doolittle gets covered. All of Doolittle down here. So I'm gonna, at the next meeting, I'll have a map like this, but I will color coordinate the north, central, and south, so you know exactly what streets to cover and how far down you go, rather than the circles, if that's okay.
Okay.
That will help you out, I think.
So,
Weekdays, are you available weekdays, or do you prefer weekends?
yeah, weekdays.
So Brent, is you and Terry?
Terry, you wanna
Yeah.
do
I'll talk
something?
about-
Central, yeah,
Sure.
hey, everybody, let's come back to what we're talking about, okay? We were splitting up.
That's what we.
Dorothy
That's what we were
and
doing.
Jacob,
That's what we're doing, Terry and I are gonna do central.
okay, thank you. And Brent, Jacob is okay, and that leaves me.
And Jeff, and so y'all have south.
All right, so I did,
Yourself.
south, yeah, I did south last time. Oh, Terry, I thought you're doing central.
Yeah.
Okay.
A change.
So one thing I'm curious about is, I believe all this is in an Excel spreadsheet, and, you're gonna,
I did it. I took all the handwritten notes and converted into an Excel spreadsheet.
okay,
So, we will have that. I mean, you can go out on an iPad and do an update if you want.
okay, yeah, I was just wondering who's responsible for, logging all this data into.
I did it from the originals.
Okey dokey.
So,
This is for
if you wanna go and do it on Note, but, all that stuff, or even if, however you prefer to get it, I mean, I can just sort of do, pages, and you can just, add an extra column and just add the changes. But there should be consistency between the, the first survey and the second survey, so that we're talking about the same trees.
Okay, as far as location on the property, did y'all use GPS coordinates or just the tree by the water fountain?
That
Or,
sounds
Yeah.
good.
okay,
Can you use the GPS?
you can, and I mean, we can throw it up on the TV in a couple meetings from now, and,
Do you know of an app or something where you can pinpoint, like you bring it up and you push it down and you pinpoint it on there, and then you can write notes to it, and then you can download it and it will do your, does that make sense to you? So,
so,
Obviously not.
I guess not, so, something I've been meaning to incorporate into this tree board is a software that I have. I believe I told Iris I'd give her access to, and I just haven't done it yet.
I'm looking for something for
Like,
like potholes and stuff like that, and street signs, where we can have something where we go along and we can just pinpoint it on the GPS map. And then if we just wanna look at stuff, or what type of signs it is, it will like print a spreadsheet or whatever.
definitely.
Cause I know Public Works sometimes uses those types of.
So one that I used to use before the one I have now, and it's a free one, it's called Touch GIS. And, it lets you get really into detail all the way from power line, the differences between power lines, roadways, width of right of ways, alleyways. I mean, you can get really in depth all the way to the direction of water flow. So that's a good one, I know that one's, free, and then depending on how in detail you wanna go, you can purchase, sections of it.
Okay.
But for what we're doing, I mean, touch GIS would be a good.
Okay.
And yeah, you can mark stop signs, yield signs, speed limits and,
Trees.
trees. Yep.
So, I'm not very technical, I speak Excel and I dissociate.
That's what I was wondering, if maybe just, doing this on pad and paper and then being able to somehow.
If you can provide the data, we'll somehow get it into the spreadsheet or whatever we need to get it into.
I mean, if you can write down, if you can look at your phone, Google Maps or iMaps, it'll show you your coordinates and just write those down. That's enough to go into an Excel spreadsheet.
We'll figure it out. We'll work out the.
Yeah, we got a few months to even work on it. We'll throw something up on the big screen and do a walkthrough.
So if you could come up with a guideline for what we're looking for, how to measure and things like that, the circumference for trees that are too good for our hands, or a measuring tape. And
Okay,
how to do that, that would be very helpful. And this document isn't as precise, or as technical as might be helpful, but it gives us an idea of what to look for,
I'll see if I can
basically.
put together something that y'all can all understand.
What was the name of the software you got?
Touch GIS.
I told them.
Oh, awesome.
So,
I've got
I
it.
don't know anything about it.
so does
Yeah,
each,
so you can do, I mean, road maps or satellite maps, or you can do hybrids as well. And I believe this is a topographical map, which would be, I mean, which way water runs.
Glad I can that's
so teams have been divided up. Does everybody on the team have a list that says south, north, or central? At least one of you.
I do.
I
I have
took a
central.
picture of it, so.
Oh, okay, that's.
So here's what I use, it's called Tree Fodder.
All right, then
So
we're
you
gonna
can-
move on.
Here's some surveys that I've been working on. Oh, anyways, sorry,
That's okay. It's important work. So if you could have some hints for the rest of us.
yes, I will put all this, I'll put a how-to, into an email and send it to Kevin so he can send it out to everyone else, I don't know.
Or you can send it to me.
Yeah, without doing a quorum
That's
through
right.
email.
That's called blind CC.
See, y'all know about email, I know about trees,
Yeah.
so.
And pie.
And I know a lot about that.
We will have pie.
Yes.
So, do you need a reminder, Jacob?
Let's see, you want this information by the next meeting?
So if we could have it by September, August would be better, so we can start studying.
Yeah,
So August,
okay, well,
okay?
August 14th is our meeting, I believe.
Okay, so if you could provide it then, and I'm happy to put that in the reminder email also, send everybody. Okay? Got it?
Got it.
Okay. Thank you all for your enthusiasm. This is good, we're doing it. All right, so the last item is to discuss, number 4, discuss and take possible action regarding the interview process by the tree board of city arborist applications. I guess the first question is, are there any applications?
No.
Okay, so we still have some time, but it seemed like it would be a good idea to just review the RFP and what it is that we're asking them to do and what is required of them. whoever they are. And this was the draft that was submitted to the city council. I don't have a copy of the official one that was approved or edited, but it's good enough to work with. I don't know if you have a copy of it yet, or still from our work that we did.
Can we print copies off, because it's on the website, I have it,
Copies of what you're doing.
the RFP, it's
Yeah,
on the website.
if you want
That's
to,
okay.
if you want to go ahead and print it out, then we can still talk about it.
Okay.
Will that disturb you?
No, that will not.
All right, so there was a question that you had, Nancy, about why can't the city arborist do this?
Right.
Which is a reasonable question. So this is the scope of services for the appointment for a city arborist. One, and this actually was done before you came on board. So one, the arborist will be responsible for the routine maintenance and monthly inspections of existing trees in Wood Creek's public right-of-ways areas using the best and current management practices and compliance with the current tree ordinance. So Jacob, that may include what you've been asking for, a management plan.
Management.
The city
Yes.
arborist will create and distribute a document that lists tree care and management practices that be used consistently in Wood Creek.
Here, let me give you a correct one, because the language has changed. And so I want to make sure that you're reading the right stuff.
All right, do you remember offhand how many hours, or was it?
It's 10 hours, up to 10, it says,
As many as,
it's 10
as much
hours.
as,
The applicant must be available for consultation and services up to 10 hours per week on an as-needed basis,
Okay, so we have 40 hours
a month, yes.
a month. So, I may be wrong, but I just think that there's a lot of work for this arborist to do. And 10 hours, of course, you better, you would know better than I, Jacob, this is what we can afford. Do you think the survey is something that should be passed over to?
Well, so I would consider what the city arborist could actually get done in that amount of time. If we're expecting any kind of tree pruning, 10 hours a month would be just, I heard a month, 10 hours,
10 hours a week.
10 hours.
a week, oh, 10 hours a week, okay.
Up to
Okay.
10 hours a week.
10 hours a week, that wouldn't be too much. I mean, as far as printing goes, what if he's going beyond that 10 hours? I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
So, so there are more duties that are listed on here. And, but I wanted to wait for this to come.
And also, where's the list of duties? Qualification. Okay, here we go.
Scope of services, thank you.
If you look at how much money is allocated, let's say $8,000 is allocated on a weekly basis. With that amount, they could work about 7.69 hours a week on the amount that's, I believe, is intended to be budgeted for that. Unless I'm mistaken with the 8,000 figure.
That's for
So it averages out about 7.5 hours a week is what you have money for.
And it could be an accumulation, 1 week, it could be
Yeah.
15 hours.
Correct. 1 week it could be 1 hour, the next week it could be 15 hours, but up to 8,000. So I just took 8,000, figured, I don't even, that's assuming $20 an hour. I don't know what they would charge, because we don't have a thing, but that's, I don't even know.
It's reasonable, but not probably.
Probably not, no. And so, that's just a rough estimate. I mean, that's just kind of seeing where you're at.
We put that figure into the last year's budget as a placeholder, so we knew we wanted to go there, we just didn't know.
And
what's
we're,
it gonna be.
yeah,
We've got a new
how-
budget that we're starting to work on now.
and you won't know how much it's gonna be until they get started, just like a code enforcement,
Yeah,
code administrator. I mean, don't have that position, really can't tell you how much they're gonna work or how much they're not gonna work until they get in, and then city council will have to adjust accordingly, either raise the money or be okay with less hours.
So-
for one person, some of these jobs seem a little, inappropriate, unsafe. So we're like, removing trees. I mean, I think that's at least, if that person was to get hurt, we need at least one other person there to
So I think,
call,
I think
I
the
guess,
city staff would be available.
No,
No?
no, so we're talking about sending out one person with skill, but still by himself,
well, one person or one company,
one company.
correct. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a single person, you know, cause like, there's a bunch of tree vendors out here that, you know, they run a crew and
Yeah,
they might send one person to do the majority of it, but if it's cutting the tree, they'll send two people out to do that, but it will still be the same hourly rate.
okay,
Whether you have one or two,
per person.
no,
person.
per hour. So if they send two people,
And what's our hourly rate here?
we don't have one
We
stated.
can't talk about that.
No, we don't have one stated.
No, it was never intended that if tree work had to be done, that it was gonna be done by the city arborist at whatever the hourly rate is. It's like, okay, so the city needs tree work done, they would supervise, and it could be their company that does the work.
Oh,
Yeah, they get
okay.
paid appropriately. But no, it was not intended,
Okay.
for the city arborist to go out and work on trees. They're
Yeah, I was
They're
definitely
more
thinking more of a desk
advisory
arborist
consultant
position.
capacity.
Okay. And that's clear.
And will they have, the arborists have direction from anybody or what to look, whether they need to go and look first or second or, you know, in a priority kind of a way to see what has to be done?
Well, first, it will be looking at city right of ways and city stuff, but also in the, proposal, it talks about meeting with residents, on a consultant basis. And so, they would also be responsible for that to determine if they do have Oak Hill on their property. And if they do, they have to report that to the city, and then they have to get that corrected.
They will have.
Correct.
There's a lot here for an artist to do. And they also
Let me
have
just say
to,
this real quick. The agenda is to, what is the item?
Discuss,
and take possible action regarding interview process by the
Interview
tree board.
process,
city
but
arborist.
just the interview process,
right.
I guess we kind of
Kind of
diving in.
through this, RFP a long time ago, made a recommendation to council, and they voted on it, so I don't know if we have an agenda item that would let us rewrite this, and B, I think that vote's kind of sailed in terms of if there's issues with this, because we made our recommendations, council's acted on it, so I don't know how deeply you want to get back into that or not.
So the question was, why don't we let the city arborist do the survey? And there isn't
Mhm.
anything in here about the city arborist doing the survey.
It does, actually.
It says updating it.
Two cities with updated current tree ordinance, but how that is defined is.
The reason I'm pursuing this is because we had a terrific, maybe the word is horrific, ice storm that mutilated a lot of trees and left them vulnerable to the beetles. And I thought, we still don't have an applicant, so it might be a good idea to just see what we've got, so that when a person steps in, we can hand them a current survey. That was what I had in mind. But when I read this, when I was writing this, it occurred to me that, and I haven't seen this since we submitted it to the council, which was last fall, I think. So I haven't reviewed it lately, and it seems like a lot of work for one person to do when it's something that we can do. We started out doing just to become a tree board. But we have a motion that we just voted on to say that we would do it. So I don't know that, to use Brett's terms, that vote was sailed, that ship has sailed. Unless we want to amend it, but I don't think we can. I think that's what.
You would pretty much have to, ask the council to pull these and start over.
Start over.
Because it has been approved, the position has been posted for some time now.
Mhm.
It's just that, as Kevin was pointing out earlier, it's just like the arborists are busy.
Yeah.
They've got more work than they can handle. A position like this would be, like a nice to have when things are slow.
Things are not slow right now.
But when you've got more work than you can handle, it's like getting a part-time job as a city arborist is not gonna be at the top of your list, right? So, some of it's just a timing.
So as a group, as a board, I feel like we have to continue to take care of the trees until our person comes on to take care of them.
Whichever one comes first.
Right.
I mean, if we hire a city arborist before the end of September, then we tell him to do the survey. But if,
I wouldn't think so. Because it's like, it comes on, I mean, they would want to be involved in working with the tree board, to get the survey done and done well. But I wouldn't take that off the plate, you've already voted to do it. And so, I wouldn't take that off off your plates yet. But if I was an arborist coming into a new city, new job, and, there's a tree survey, either about to begin or is underway, yeah, I would definitely want to be a part of that and go with each of the teams to, get a lay of the land. But, to come in and say, oh yeah, well, the first thing you gotta do is, you see all these little green spots? Go into each one of them and inventory every tree on that property.
yeah,
Good way to lose the city arborist.
Particularly if you're only paying them $20 an hour.
Right.
So when we do the survey, we'll have information about the trees and what needs to be done. And that will be turned over, and then it'll be up to the arborist to be current about that. That's what this says. The routine maintenance and inspections of existing trees. So we'll turn over some of that work, although we'll still get reports and for requests for permits and requests to trim and reports of wilted trees, right? So that we can give that to the city arborist as well. So, so that was why we're doing the survey.
Yeah.
okay.
Initially, in any new job, there's always so much work to do. So, we certainly don't want to be overwhelming. If someone even applies, that's the reality right now. It's not something that anyone's trying to do.
So,
Back to the interview process, right? What possible actions do we need to conduct an interview?
So the qualifications are listed. So that's the first thing, right? And
Their fault.
that would probably already be checked through by the city manager.
Correct. What we would do is that we would vet whoever came forward with, an application to be the city arborist. We would let the tree board, meet the city arbors and conduct questions or whatever, talk to them. And then just like every other committee, you all would make a recommendation to council.
Okay, so the interview would be held on one of the days that there's a tree board meeting?
Doesn't necessarily have to be, you can call a meeting whenever.
Oh, okay.
So it would be a matter of, I think, forming a little committee. I'm not sure, I'm just kind of guessing here, that we would form a committee that's going to interview and report back to the board so that we can pass on recommendations or not. But in the interview process, it would be like applying for a job. We're looking for health, intelligence, good grooming, compatibility, friendliness, the kinds of qualities that you look for in a job.
Experience.
Well, that's first and foremost, yeah. But that would be checked through by someone, like Evan.
Yeah, we would do some due diligence before we threw
Yeah.
somebody. We would interview them first, make sure they.
That's right.
The snuff test or the smell test or whatever it is, and then we would let you give the opportunity to at least talk to them, because they will be working with you, reporting to you, giving you information, so we'll make sure that you're comfortable with them. And then you can make a recommendation to wanted to hire, hey, this is a good one, we're all kind of agreement, then we would send it forward to city council, and city council would make the ultimate decision on negotiating the contract and all that other stuff that would be necessary.
That is out of our hands.
Correct.
So, I propose that we get 2 people. I think that would be enough to interview them in a group.
Probably have to be two, so we board a quorum, you know,
Okay,
so I'm two
so
people.
2 people from this board.
Yeah. I guess, how,
Is anybody?
is that how you envision it, Kevin?
I was just gonna have them hit the firing squad.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
have a
do 'em
meeting
all.
and.
Yeah, just get it done.
That way, I mean, we're gonna be working with all of them, and all of them have a different thing, so, we'll
Yeah.
have a special
We'll
meeting,
give you
for
that
regular
special
meeting,
meeting.
do
talk to 'em.
15, 20, 30 minutes, and they can ask questions, and
Yeah,
they can kind of, get the feel for them, see if they like them, and then,
make a recommendation.
make a recommendation to council, and just like any other board, Irish would write that recommendation, present it to council with the background information and their feelings and, just, how we got here and why they think our arborist is important.
Yeah,
Their things, report that to council, and the council can make the ultimate decision if they want to go forward with that. And of course, y'all would have to set the budget, we would have to finalize hours and, just,
right,
Okay,
that makes sense.
so the
And
process,
criminal check is done after, when,
due diligence,
yeah, we'll take care of all that.
no sex
I gotta
offenders.
go, I got 6 o'clock, I'm sorry, guys. Good work, y'all. See, I gotta go, I got 6, I'll see you later.
See you.
Yeah, I'm running late a little bit.
Oh.
Thanks, Brent.
See you guys, goodbye,
Bye.
see you.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Would the city arborist be a member of this tree board when possibly attending like ex officio? Okay,
I'm sorry.
Ex officio.
Something like that, I mean, it'd be like Kevin.
yeah,
The staff, I mean, they would like staff the,
required to come to every meeting.
No.
No, not a voting member.
no,
They wouldn't be required to come every meeting. They would have to provide, I think it says here quarterly or something, which, probably be a good idea, but more often than not, it'd be me just giving them an update on kind of the monthly activities of what they were doing.
Okay. That's,
And would they be able to ask for help from us if they needed some extra?
Sure, they want, hey, where they do a survey, or can they help they, spare this area or whatever, sure, they can leverage you as much as you let them.
So was your question answered?
it was, yeah, he or she is a non-voting member, ex officio of the tree board. My interview question was answered as well. Where we need to go from here, I don't think there's any action that needs to be taken.
No action.
So we've gone through discussion and,
With that,
do we
are there
need,
any more questions or comments or any clarifications needed?
I'm satisfied.
All right, then I propose that we close. The only announcements, as I said, next meeting is July 10th. And please bring your, I'm sorry.
I believe it.
Yeah, July
July
10th.
10th. Welcome to
Sorry.
summer.
Sorry.
So, it's not on here, but we really need an alternate. And, yeah, we need more people on the board. So please come up with ideas, recommendations, or suggestions. You can ask your friends, I think they have to live in Wood Creek, and invite them to apply with, as a alternate board member, to be on the tree board. And we need, we need smart, able bodies, and people, I mean, just not bodies. But, so if you know somebody, please encourage them to call Kevin and ask for the application. I think you get them online.
Yes.
Yes, so we still need that. I am not breathing at full capacity today. And, I have a lot of brain fog. I'm not having excuses, I would say, but it makes it a little hard to pull my thoughts together. So, but it occurred to me that if I should be sick and not come, that it would fall on one of you.
Oh, we don't have a vice chair. Is that right?
Right.
So we, need to come up on board, choose.
How's that vice chair spot chosen?
We recommend, and the board chooses. Wait,
Is
no,
that
no,
open
we
for
choose.
volunteering?
Somebody raises their hand and say, okay.
Anybody want to be vice chair? And then y'all vote on it, but we can't do it at this meeting, it has to be the next one.
Okay,
Because actually it's the agenda item.
okay.
So,
That's fine.
But yeah, and the vice chair just steps in case she's foggy headed and goes to Wimberley instead of Wood Creek for some reason.
goes to Blue Hole.
Goes to Blue Hole, you know, or
For savages.
yeah, or something, but really, I
So
mean,
how do you end up at Savages?
I don't know. So, you know, something should happen, but as you know, I come with agenda and items to support you in this meeting. And so it would be a matter of somebody just stepping in temporarily and just hitting the gavel in and out, which is really a lot of fun. I recommend it.
Who's feeling it?
Power. I mean, what was it that Wonder Woman used to do? Was it this?
Oh,
Out of date. So anyway, please encourage people to sign up, volunteer, and I guess then we could actually maybe choose another person to step up for vice chair if none of you want to do that.
And it has to be somebody from Wood Creek, right?
Yes.
And has to be Wood Creek.
Wood Creek resident.
The other unannounced announcement is to please start thinking and putting down your ideas for Arbor Day, suggestions,
Bike ride.
vendors, food, e-bikes.
Oh, yeah, any bike counts. I'll even accept tracks.
Oh.
I'm turning this into a Harley party.
Oh, that's what you're doing. So please jot down your ideas for Arbor Day. Or just text me or email me without a quorum, then text me privately and just say, please write this down so we can discuss it. Okay, then, because I want a good blowout for whenever we find it in the
Yeah.
article. So then just bring your agenda and laptop to the next meeting so we can see paper. Okay? Nothing ready? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Participation.
Yes.